YouTube, YouTube. Good boy, Vessel Vision. Come back with another entirely based rant. You know what it is. Today we're going on. Shake it. Today we're going on videos in-game progression. I'm here to bring you a brutal reality check. So I appreciate everyone's tuning in. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe if you're new here. Sheesh, let me get started. So there's been a lot of BDO gearing changes lately. So I'm just kind of break it down for some people that are kind of newer. They can expect what to see in the future. And I'm going to explain a little bit in the past. So it all started with actually only plus 15. Oh, we're going all the way back. This is the beginning of the game. So check it out. It all started with plus 15 weapons. And they were actually much like the Celeste battle hand. In fact, this Celeste was a weapon from the beginning of the game. It's from Caltheon. So originally you just had plus 15 gear. You didn't have boss gear, and they added boss gear in right before they added Valencia, maybe a couple months into the game, also known as Valencia. Big fan. I took it over with an iron fist. Excuse me. But yeah, no. So plus 15, I believe, was the best era in the game. The reason being, at best, you were just getting the plus 15, and it seemed like a horrendous deal, but it took like a week, right? Anytime you can get the max weapon, your max weapon in a week, you're good, right? Like we hated it when it first came out, but it was wonderful. And then boss gear came out. Memory fragments were absolutely deplorable. I thought it was all over for me. Omega Law. Right? I thought it was done for. I could even get plus 14 on my bags. And then someone had to point out, I don't even have plus 14 bags. That was kind of peak BDL, believe it or not. Because it was like, man, this is so hard. I can't believe I'm spending billions of silver doing it. And then other people were like, I don't even have that. Do you have billions? You know, it felt good. That felt good. So Valencia came out. It went Pry to Pen, right? So when they came out, Pen was literally unobtainable. People were trying to get Tets at first. Everybody was aiming. Everyone wanted Duo and Try the first day. Some of us got a couple Tets the first day. Guilty. I've always been geared. Smile. Up until a certain point, I'll mention when I stopped it. So I've pretty much been close to hard capped most of this session, and I'm arguably close there now. But it's a tough argument now. I'm nowhere near now, but you'll see. So Valencia, this is up until the comma era. It was really nice. It was up until the comma era. It was really nice. And then they came out with something called CAPHRAS. People were getting full pin, everything. It was a problem, I guess. Like one guy had it. I don't know. Like literally, no. Like there was just a few people who had like full pin in general. But then they came out with CAPHRAS, and originally they called CAPHRAS Cron energy. Right? You see how I have 19 energies of CAPHRAS in my offhand? Originally, they called CAPHRAS Cron energy. And it was their idea was you would just buy Cron stones and fail over and over again. But that felt too predatory. So they changed the name from Cron Energy. They called it CAPHRAS. You were just going to get it after you used Cron stones. And then they were like, that would be pay to win. Wouldn't want to be too pay to win now, would we? Smile. Okay, so that would be pay to win. So they were like, it's got to drop in the game. Hence CAPHRAS. Hence it exists. Fun fact, the history of CAPHRAS. So fun part of CAPHRAS. I'm just gonna throw this out there. Dregan was the worst expansion in the entire game. You guys think we're getting screwed on Land of the Morning Light? At least they're doing something. Dregan came out. There was nothing to do for an in-game player except for hope that a dragon was dropping you a Garmoth. How many of you still haven't gotten your Garmoth? Exactly. So, at least if we were in game as Regan, we already had our orders up though. It's all the people that didn't have it, that were already in game by Dragon, that still don't have their Garmoths. You see what I mean? Like, Intriguing is the worst expansion. But anyway, so Garmoth came out a little bit after CAPHRAS, and yeah, big deal. At first, it wasn't even a crystal slot, so I mean, it was mid. You only put it in your offhand. It was really powerful for people like myself. No one else got it. So after the CAPHRAS Garmoth era, then they initiated the newest part of where we're at. It seemed like a really good direction because it was a great catch-up mechanic. I still like the catch-up mechanic. Fallen God, right? Interesting thing, the Fallen God catch-up mechanic lets you use only level 10 CAPHRAS, which is, I think, beautiful. Because when I was C20 CAPHRAS over everybody and pen accessories, it was like, it felt like everybody felt like they would never catch up. So that's what they're trying to, that's what they were trying to quote unquote fix, right? So since then they've added the Fallen God. I think the armor, not a bad step in the right direction. And the fun fact is it does get them better in line with their investors. So I think this is probably one of their best steps in progression when you think about it. It helped everybody in game. It gave you minuscule stats to the higher ranked players, and it made money for the investors, right? It made them money, right? Because people bought CRONS. So when you think about it, Fallen God overall is probably some of their best gearing, like that they'd ever done for Pearl Abyss. Now, after Fallen God came accuracy accessories. Fun fact about accuracy accessories is they were really powerful because people slept on evasion so long. Oh god, this hurts to see. People slept on evasion so long that yeah, you just you these came out and people realized that you could kill people with a lot less AP if you actually hit them, and they were just so strong. People were running 5 of these at one point to fight people like Cho Nation if you were in like Black Rose. Shout out to all the homies in those guilds. For the road. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's, you needed the accuracy at one point. And so it was the Fallen God, an accuracy accessory meta, and that was not that bad because there was building, there was counter. This is kind of the second golden age of BDO's gearing. And then now we're in what I call the dark ages, or today's brutal reality check. We're in the DEBO arc, right? I tried to protest it. I was like, I'm not even gonna get doubles. And I went from being top geared, the most geared person in the game, first person to make a yellow destruction resplendent stone, North America, that type of stuff, to I think you're a gearlet. Like that's how big deal debos were. Now, luckily before the DR changes, so I have this in parentheses, debos and DR changes. Before the DR changes, there was so much like AP in general in the game that like debos didn't change anything if you were a good player, and you could just get accuracy accessories for a little cheaper. You could just buy them off the market and you would bang out anyway. So like objectively, like I did not need these until a certain level of gearing. Now that we're at that gearing, and then they added in, guess what? Boom, 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 the DR patch. So along with the DR patch, I'm gonna couple in the bracket, 2 brackets you see here. These are basically 2 AP brackets that you can only find on debos. I think that they added one to Tungrad. It's minimal at best. It means nothing because no one's going to be grinding in their Tungrads over Deborica. And yeah, it's as you can see, it's an extra 20 AP for having 5. So most of the time, it's better to have even Tet debos over anything else, especially if you have 1 or more pen debos. So now there is no more building. There is no more accessories. There's no point in using, I mean, let's be honest, you know, accessories, rings, like there's no point in using any of these other, who would use that Monos ring, Omega? There's no point in using this other stuff when this one's here, right? It might as well see best in slot ring. So it might as well be what it's called. Yep, between the Debos and DRH, that's where we're at now. And the fun thing about that is it's well, welcome to BDO Progression 2024. We get to the rest of the fun part of the video. So, all right. I wish I could actually crack my knuckles there. That would have been so. Forgive me, I'm a little sick. Yo, BDO Progression 2024. Free black stars. Let's go. Seems like a good idea, right? Now think about this. I want you to think about the values that they're giving you. I want you to think about the values they're giving you. So you now have enough AP to go grind places like Crypt or Ash if you're a decent player on a strong class. As soon as you get out of seasonal. What does that hint at? Go get your devos, nerd. That's what they're saying. And then on top of that, you have the DR now to survive there. Whoa! And as if they were trying to push you into getting your Folly God and everything ASAP, so you could spend more Constones to tap. They now not only give you your Black Stars first thing, but seasonal loot now drops at, where is it? The Frost Taros over in the winter area. So they want you to be able to get time field stones soloing the winter area in seasonal. What? They're like, yeah, just finish your Falling God in seasonal. It's fun. Like, what is going on? That is what they expect. They're trying to power jump you. They expect you. So instead of, yeah, listen, crowning life gear as the last part of the stage. They expect you to crown stone everything. Okay? So now that they've added crowning life gear at this stage, okay, and they have the expensive life gear already, Debos are the only accessory at all. Crown stones are all you need. Smile, winky face. Smile, winky face. So this leaves us that's our progression. That's it. Now where does this leave us? What are my thoughts? Holy moly. So first things first. Cronstone is king. First thing. No fun. I feel like the game before Cronstones is the most fun part of the game. It's like when memory fragments were the hardest part of the game, the fun part of the game was like getting your plus 15 green weapon and all that. Because then when you figured out you needed false gear, it was like, oh, these are memory fragments. So these are like they're getting rid of that. You go right into the hard part of the game. You go right into Endgame now. Instead of like there's no sliding scale. They didn't make it any easier. They're just like, you're here. Hope you can hit the 5% or spend $10,000. And that's really where they want you to be at, because you used to not even have the capability to spend $10,000 until you played so long, you liked the game, and then you could spend $10,000. So it's kind of an interesting scenario. I'd like to hear what you guys' thoughts on that specific thing. But when Cronstone is king, that means we are the servants of the Cronstone. So, fellow servants of the Cronstone, how do you feel about this? I am absolutely elated, if you can't tell. As a matter of fact, I think we're going to go make sure our thing looks exactly the same color as the Cronstone here. There we go. Now we're like Cronstone blue or whatever. All right. It's actually so blue, and I wrote in blue ink. It was the dumbest thing I could have done. Yep, you can't make this stuff. Anyway, okay. Anyways, so oh my god. So, what do we need to do? So, first off, right now, we have a way around this. Everybody is trying their best to get around. Everyone is blowing their money on all the hammers in the game. But that is only a thing until November 27th, as you can see right here. And by hammers, I mean the J hammers that they gave out for accessories. So everyone's saving money. They're buying Ted Debos, and they're buying these J hammers of precision. And the hammer of precision, how did the ring come up? Anyways, the J hammer of precision There's like so many of them, people can't even sell them. It's kind of ironic. It's almost like they listed a bunch so no one could make money off of it. They want you to tap with it, and they want people to buy them. I don't know. It's very weird. It's very weird, the scenario. Also, they all disappear on November 27th. So like, what is gonna be the backlash of this? Are we gonna get hammers in the game permanently? Is there gonna be a way to retain? I don't know. But once the hammers disappear, the value, like, you guys have no idea how hard it is to get up in demo. The value of tapping without a hammer versus with is literally just not there. So November 27th is fast coming, and the meta is just gonna get worse instantly. And I'm very interested in wondering what's gonna happen there. So right now we're basically grinding, never-ending circles, and we have been since Black Desert Online, but we have fewer choices, right? I mean, really, you might want to get your permanent potion. You might go somewhere for money so you can buy it, and then you're gonna get into somewhere where you can get to 2 debos or enough AP to go grind your debos while you're getting your fallen gods and all that other stuff. So it's like very forced, you know. And if you want life gear, you get your monos and you cron it up. Like, there is no there's no changing anymore. There's no diverse builds. There's not a low, so with the lack of accuracy being needed, no accuracy off hands, and then the accuracy off hands being totally just blitzed into oblivion. It's just kind of like boom. I think that the game seems bland overall, except for the PvP. You haven't seen me doing a ton of grinding, and this is why. I used to always have the best gear that I thought, and there used to be a little more of a fun curve to it. And if you put in a ton of work, you were that much further than ahead of everybody else. Now all you can do is just get all, like, it's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous. And on that video is bland comment, I want to give a shout out to my buddy SAIKU. I was telling him about this video, and he was talking to me, and this is kind of what he said. We're gonna put his I'm gonna put his Twitch in the video. He's Kojium KZARKA. He made KZARKA, and I hopped in to help run it. As if anyone wants a T1 guild, small little plug there. But yeah, this is my boy, dude. The past 6 months gutted everyone's progression who wasn't already wearing 3 times pin debos. All the old accessories people work for years are basically worthless now. And this is my favorite part when you got to think about this. This is really deep, and this is why I just shout out to SAIKU again. I had to mention it again. I love SAIKU. Pin distos were 200 billion when we were grinding 500 mil an hour. So you got your pin distos in, you were a Chad. But now we're grinding 1.5 to 2 bill an hour, and they're only worth 60 billion. Meanwhile, my accuracy accessories, which by the way were 150 to 180 billion even recently, 120 sometimes. Accuracy accessories, they were worth a lot recently, are totally dead, which by the way we saw that Turos 100 billion less than it was. Didn't it, you know, not too recently. Accuracy, they're totally dead, with basically double the accuracy per accessory. In other words, they doubled the stats on it, and they're still totally dead. Because the whole game is just DR and AP now. Facts. Like, it's all just a stat check. That's why the stat stick works with the green main hand. It's actually crazy. It's all about how much DR and how much AP you have. So all the more casual players go right into grind debos, crowns, hammers. That's why I wanted to put into the game seems bland comment. Right? Because it's boring. At least the circular PvE gear part. Right? Like, that is not that amazing to me. Like, it's not like they sat through yeah. Anyways, it's that's crazy. You'll see me grinding, but not a ton, and I have fun with it when I do, because I'm not grinding for this. I'm just running the different monster spots and I'm killing, and I think that's just how it should be. So this is my next point. If all the big PvP communities die, because even the PvP is getting screwed up, and everything but the PvP seems bland, right? So if PvP is getting screwed, PvPers. We recently feel like, and I'm sorry we weren't listening to you more. Console. Shout out to all my console people. PvP players. We feel like console now. We can scream as much as we want. Ah! And they're like, that's great. We're gonna smile and nod past you in the middle of the ball, like in front of everybody, hundreds of thousands of people watching, and we're not gonna mention you at all. We're gonna talk about some stuff that doesn't matter, and y'all can keep complaining and buying value packs. That's kind of how it feels. With good reason. With good reason. And so, oof, you know, like, so if all the big communities, PvP communities are dying, and that's the part of the game that seems fun, then there's just not enough incentive to play the game anymore. Like, think about it. They're actually gonna lose money fundamentally with all these changes trying to make money. Because at the end of the day, it's gonna be not nearly as much fun playing the game anymore. So they'll have way less players. They need to do something immediately. I have no idea what it is, but they need to do something immediately. So yeah, right now without the fun, who knows? So the game is now too boring. That's it. That's the reality check for in-game progression. In-game goals. In-game goals that require gear are basically too easy. Like the hard grind spots that I can go to, they're not that hard. Like I'm not. I don't even care about the mechanics. I just, oh, I need a resist. Get the resist. Go fight. Like it's not super hard, right? So that exists, and then the other ones you do want to go to are like unplayable, and that it's. I mean, uncapped PvP is a joke. There's no node wars. Unironically, this is the perfect time to shoot this video. I think I see a bunch of T1 guilds in the uncapped node wars. Good for them. You see what I mean? Like, look at this. This is NA. We know AU's dead too, so yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm just entirely base. Maybe it's just a brutal reality check for me. But please, let me know how you feel in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about BDO's in-game. And let me know if I'm just going crazy. Thank you for listening to another entirely based rant. I'm best of Mother Vision. I'm entirely based. Y'all have a wonderful day. Oh yeah, happy July 4th. Although this video will be coming out on the 5th. But hey, it's the 4th right now. Happy July 4th, everybody. Peace.